to reach the world.
Hey y'all, like and subscribe down below. That's your girl Angel. Now I'm watching the full interview of Derrick Jackson's ex-wife. So I could do a part 2 on why you just don't listen to everybody that gives relationship advice.
I will not compromise on getting a.
Okay.
What's going on? Hey. Yes. Danae, you in here now?
Her name is Danae Jackson.
I am comfortable. I am on the yellow couch. You have treated me well since I've been here. Thank you.
So tell me, what made you decide to do this? I mean, there's a lot of people that come and they've been DMing you and trying to get you to come on their platforms. Why have you said no to all of them and yes to the Dear Future Wifey podcast?
One, because the Lord didn't give me permission to go on any other platforms. So I have to be obedient to him. And when you reached out to me, it was automatic, like, yes. And so here I am.
She said the Lord gave her permission only to go on this show and tell her story. That's what she said.
My voice heard. It's been drowned out with all the noise, all the drama surrounding my life and marriage and all
maybe
that.
not.
So I appreciate you.
Do I believe it?
A safe space for me to come and speak about my truth, my life, and allow my voice to be heard, so that.
Do I believe what she went through? Yeah, because it was well known what she was going through.
We have a mantra. We say we keep it lit. We live intentionally and transparently. Yes. Are you going to keep it lit today?
Lit all the way.
All the way.
Turned up.
You and I have had some conversations in the pre-interview. We've been getting to know each other for about the last week and a half.
Yes.
And man, when I tell you, I've been blown away by your transparency, your vulnerability. You know, and social media had this way of trying to make you look like you crazy.
Yes.
And when I met you, I talked to you, I was like, this girl, not only is she not crazy, she's
now,
absolutely brilliant.
I'm going to go to the one that she did that made them think she was crazy. Because I thought she was crazy too. She did not make sense.
So they have
but
nothing to go
anyway.
off of. And so they're seeing me for the first time when all of this crazy stuff is going on. And then I'm sitting up here talking about Jesus. Talking about a helmet of salvation. So it's like, oh, she has lost her mind. She is right. And I'm like, I'm saying I have a sound mind, and I know what's going on right now because I've been delving into the Word. I'm discerning the time that I'm in from a spiritual state, and now I'm trying to protect what sanity I do have with the Word of God. So I think that's kind of what fueled all of that. They're trying to get a feel for who I am.
But you haven't always been a Christian.
No.
Look, I want to take an opportunity to get to know you before we talk about what everybody wants to know. Because we
don't have time for that. We're going to get into the interview.
This thing on my own, and so there's abandonment, there's rejection there. And
sure, she been through what all of us been through. Damn near 80% of women, especially women of color, been through. Just a moment, because I'm finna do a long video about it. I want to get to the meat.
Hey, so what if we have questions about our policy? And what if it's late at night? And what if someone's...
Oh, that humor drew me in as well. Of course, he has the looks to go with it, so there's that.
So it's a perfect little balance.
Yeah, it's a perfect balance of it all.
And so when you first saw him, did you just see him as somebody that, I'm interested in him, or is he pursuing you, or y'all start off as friends and it evolved to something greater?
No, so I actually was very quiet. Again, I'm pretty quiet overall and to myself, but he see me in class. I was the quiet girl in class, and he was like, hey, are you a model?
In class. In college, like I told you.
I used to do some modeling, right? Because I had all these pictures of me doing some modeling stuff from high school. And
that was his opening line. Hey, are you a model?
I still have this high school mentality with all the pictures.
If that don't sound Playboy, I don't know what though.
I'm going to put all these picture collage on here, right? And so I had all that on there. And he was like, did you model? And I was like, I used to do some modeling. And he's like, can you tutor me? And I was like, Yeah.
So you weren't just a quiet girl, you was a smart girl too?
Yes, quiet and smart, right? And I had these crazy braids in my hair that were not upkept. I had pimples all over my face. So it's like one of those classic movies where it's like that, the ugly duckling, smart girl in the corner, and then all of a sudden, look at this face, you know? You know, you're right. And so it was like one of those classic fairy tale kind of stories in that regard. But he asked me to tutor him. We met up in the library, and you know, I'm so awkward. He's like, I'm sitting on the opposite end of the table.
Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit. Because I want to show y'all the difference. Now, this is her now with this interview. And then I'm going to show you the older
and I was
thing.
And I was working with this guy, and I was like, listen, I need you to help me to get him back. And I want to set this up. We're going to make it look like we're, you know, this great couple. Like, I'm cheating over here. And then all this. So he helped me. He was, you know, he did. And
so what you do? So how'd y'all set it up?
So
what y'all
we had
do?
the same car. We had the same type of car, which was a Subaru, one of those, like, Fast and Furious type of cars.
How you get one of those? You had some little money growing up.
Listen, my uncle is a car guy.
Okay.
And so he gave me a car because I was a straight A student, clearly. Look at my pimples and my straight A's, right? And so he gave me a car.
Subaru. She was fly on campus.
I had a 2000 Subaru Impreza. And
So the first time he cheated on her, she acted like she cheated on him too with a guy that went to their school.
So clearly
to get him back. Now this is before they married. Want to make that clear.
Sit in closets and cry, and I would be in there wanting him to find me in the closet crying. And when he would come and find me in the closet crying, then I would say, you know, I'm just crying because I miss my dad. You know, I would blame it on something else, and it would always mostly be about my dad. Like, oh, I'm crying, but it's really because I just sat here and watched you have sex with, you know, or you know. Right?
They won't let her say the names.
No, the name, there ain't no real people name is. I don't want you throwing people's name out here.
Okay. So we're just gonna keep on going.
We're gonna make fake names up. Okay.
We're gonna making all kinds of fake names up.
Okay.
Right now. All fake. All fake names.
All fake names.
Okay. So
you were watching about sex with Sue.
Yeah, and Sue and Jane and Jade and Sheila.
Wow.
That's a fake name, right? I don't know.
That's a fake name. That's not a real person.
Seriously though, I would sit there and watch that, especially in college. I would literally sit in closets, or I would sit on the side of the dresser
before
and,
they got married.
I would.
She done named 10 people already.
In that space until he came back, from wherever he was, and he could find me, and then he can.
It would make sense to
console
you.
me, but he didn't really know he was consoling me about his indiscretion as opposed to the lie that I told him. Right. And so all of that is toxic behavior. And I had to go back and really deal with that later on once I started to realize that, hey, Janae, you are not well. You are not okay, and really deal with why I was doing that and unpack it.
And so, on again, off again, situation.
Because no matter what attention that she was getting, whether it was good or bad, she just wanted attention from him. Because he was giving all this attention to other women.
Married or got engaged, y'all wasn't even together. Please help me understand that.
Yeah, so before we moved to Atlanta, we were off. We got off because he was dealing with some girls and things like that, and it was
Just when they broke up.
And
like I told you in the book
point, I was
that he wrote, this the part that he was talking about
towards him, just like, I'm not gonna deal with this, and you're F-boy and all these things, right? I had some different kind of choice words and language at that time, and then the Lord saved me, my mouth. Thank God for deliverance.
I think a lot of people give you a pass on whatever word you decide to use back then.
But no, at that time I had asked him, I was like, do you believe the things that you're saying, right? Because this is at the beginning of his career really like taking off. And I'm like, do you believe the things that you're saying? And it really caused a rift. And so we were off. And so that time that we were off,
His career
we were still
of
never-
telling other people how to have good relationships, but he wasn't having them. He wasn't doing the things that he said real man do. Real man do.
Yes.
You know,
it was a big thing.
all
We
these
did
things
call
that he
out,
said that real
along
man did.
with the fact that there was actually
And if a
other
man
girls at the
love
time.
you,
And
this
so
what
it's just
he'll
all too
do.
much. So we end up ending that, and then we both.
But he
ended
wasn't a
up
real man. He was a whole hoe.
Right. From
How
there,
y'all keep moving to the same place?
A whole fuckboy.
Soul Tie. Listen, people underestimate the power.
Now
of
she's
Soul
talking about
Tie.
Yeah.
soul ties.
And I had no idea what that was at the time, and neither did he, right?
And yes, there's a such thing as soul ties. Very much so.
Well, no. So we had actually planned to move there prior to, because we were living in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time. We had already planned to move there, but there was so much. I had caught him with some other girls. The girl actually reached out to me, sent me their conversations and their pictures and all this stuff, and I was freaking
The
out.
girl
on him.
just
and they
felt
were
like she
okay,
had
this is
every
the
right
end.
to continuously
So, yeah,
disrespect the person that he was with.
We were early 20s. Yeah, so about 20.
The other woman would
24,
never feel
25.
like she had that right unless he gave her that, you know, that okay, or show her that she could do what she want to his woman.
25.
And it's no reaction, it's no nothing.
Yeah, we moved to
He's not gonna cut her off or nothing. Clearly, and gonna keep on having sex with her.
I had already transferred jobs.
And gonna
We
keep
just
on
hadn't
and won't
moved
cut her.
yet, so
You
it
know what I'm
was just-
saying? It's
Y'all
like,
moved together.
for real, one
Right.
thing is to cheat, and then another thing is to allow somebody to disrespect your home, your relationship.
We were in technically a committed
Like I said,
relationship
it's
when we
levels
were
to
in
this.
Raleigh, North Carolina,
Okay.
living together.
Shit is crazy.
Right, when we were making a plan to move together, we were moving
They
together.
still moved together.
as a
Yeah,
unit.
as a couple.
This
But we
before
ended
they
up
was
falling
married.
out before then, and so while the plans were still on to move, I had already transferred
Jobs.
jobs. You know, he already had whatever he had going on,
Mhm.
and so made the move. My mom came
Now,
down, and she
When he
helped
was
me,
doing these
drive down.
videos in the beginning, the videos about being,
Anyway, we
you know,
were
a
still
relationship
engaging sexually.
guru, he never said he was in a
Right,
relationship.
and so it was in this time
And none of
where
them videos.
there was a line.
I know, I watched them. I had them on my Instagram and Facebook when I first had Instagram and Facebook, like, years ago.
We were passing each other on the
Because I used to
stairway,
like
this is
watching
my
them
shift from this time to this time.
talk, and I used to really take his
So,
advice like, oh, okay,
you know,
well, maybe that's
I
it.
was a
No,
willing participant
it wasn't.
in that, and it's I can laugh about it now, but it's really sad.
And
you know, to,
She
like,
said, yeah, she was a willing
space you have to be
participant,
in to
Yeah.
accept
participant,
that. And so
and going in and out,
I
and
dealt
with
it
a
already, so
line
I
of girls
laugh now, and it's funny, but it's
coming in his house, in their house, whatever.
You know, but yeah, no, seriously.
At first,
It was, you know, I'm coming over at this time. I know such and such is gonna be rolling through about, you know, an hour and a half later. And sometimes we went a little bit longer, so literally passing each other on the stairs, like out the door.
she passing chicks on the stairs.
You know,
She going in to have sex with them.
you know,
They going out from having sex with them.
And
A ho-ho.
And so there was a lot of people involved at that time. We weren't. In
If you
relationships,
make
so
this,
all the people
if
that
you make this
made
okay before you get
relationships, so I
married,
was just on the rotation
and then gonna act
and I
like
ended up getting pregnant
you
with my first
surprised
child.
when you get married,
And it was in that.
and it's
time,
the
like,
same
okay,
thing,
You gotta figure out what
you
you're
okay
doing.
then. You stamped it.
You are whole pregnant, and you can't get rid of this child because I had already had 3 abortions before. And
Girl,
the Lord had already dealt with me, and I was like, Lord, if you save me from this, I'm not going to ever do this again. Got pregnant. I was like, I can't go back on my word, Lord. I don't want you to kill me.
Yeah.
You know, but so
so that's why I'm saying you gotta take responsibility when you had a big part in it. Like, she had a big part of what happened because she allowed it way before they got married. Way before. So, in his head, he don't think he doing nothing wrong. Not for real. And if he think he doing something, knowing, even if he knowing he doing something wrong, he ain't gonna stop it. You been letting him get away with it.
That I had a conversation with his mom, and I was like, "Listen, I don't have another 7 years to give
Now you gonna switch
him.
up?
I'm trying to figure this
Nah,
out.
we want to play victim.
And
When we put ourselves in that victim
to
seat,
this,
that
I
victim
have
couch,
7 years to give him, so he has to figure
by
out what he wants.
being on the
And
rotation.
then shortly after that,
You was on the rotation, boo.
I'm getting a call.
Now you don't want no rotation?
Like, I just got a call.
You can't cut stuff off like that when you want to cut it off, because they'll lie and say, "Oh, okay, they agree with you," and they still be doing the same
We're
shit.
not. You know, we're doing this co-parenting thing. You know.
Okay,
It's just
now
okay. So what are you gonna do?
she sound stupid, like I knew she was gonna sound. That's why I want to hear the whole thing. Okay, this is before they got divorced,
Derek Jackson here,
and why people thought she was crazy and had like a mental issue or something. Which I wouldn't sit up there and dog nobody with no mental issue. I know how that feel, but this is the reason why they said that.
what's going on, guys? Derek Jackson here, and today
Look how different this
my
look.
lovely wife, Grenada, and we just wanted to address a couple of things. You know, we understand that some of you may
Look like a whole damn fool.
That this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But you know, a lot
This
of
chapter.
said already
You talk about
what was the
at that time,
cause. Some of it is true,
he failed.
Some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it,
But he had been did this.
Derek Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. And by involved, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about just casually kicking it, maybe a lunch or something like that. I'm talking about as serious as sex, to sexual flirtation and meeting up and that kind of thing. And some things that otherwise may be considered okay by some in terms of like just chatting or checking on people or being checked on by people that I've had a previous encounter with. But without my wife's knowledge of it and with us having a sexual history, all of it falls under the umbrella of inappropriate, cheating, affair, stepping out. Definitely not in alignment with the vows that I took, and definitely not in alignment with the biblical standard of what it means to be faithful, which is the standard that I'm going by now. Now, I'm saying this publicly, not because I'm, married to you guys. First and foremost, I'm accountable to God. Then I have to be accountable to my wife, in which we've already had
Right.
this conversation.
And you do have to be accountable to us, because you're lying to us as well, talking about your relationship guru, lying constantly about you being a certain type of man and carrying yourself a certain way. So you lied to us too. So bullshit. You don't we don't deserve no explanation.
And then in my real life,
When we spending our money to buy your books and listen to your programs and all them things, and then all your merchandise, like when you had cars and all type of stuff, you first of all,
he's not exempt from that.
I'm not gonna say you. He, this was his career. He is very much he owe us an apology. See, I'm so upset my words is getting caught up. But he owes us an apology. If you live your life in the public, the hell you don't. Especially when you making money off a lie.
Let you know where we're at with that. Did you want to say something?
The fuck he mean?
Yes, so I do.
Just piss me off. I ain't your wife.
I agree with.
The hell you don't.
There is no justification.
Some of us don't have money like that. Wasting our money on your shit and you lying.
And it was unacceptable, and it's not something that I tolerate or that we tolerate moving forward. And when I've been flooded again with messages and these things and about, I need to leave or why haven't I left? And the answer is, when I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality, in how he carried himself, in how he presented himself, and in conversations that we were able to have that we had never been able to have in just 12 years of knowing each other. And
So
when we were able to have these dialogues, said, okay, Lord,
that,
this is,
and then she had another one.
and to stand by his side. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand by his side, and I have no hesitation, I have no hurt, no shame about that. And it's only because of the grace of God and the mercy of God And
Zombie.
we have already